Hello everyone, Jaime Valle here, and today I'm really excited because I'm going to show you something which I believe is really useful, and that is shortcuts. Shortcuts is basically using your keyboard on top of your mouse to make your life easier. That's what it is. And let me tell you that some of the gurus in Excel not always are telling us about these shortcuts. Okay, so let's go with the first one. The first one is going to be copy and paste. Classic one you may want to use all the time. Of course, you probably know the option to do your mouse and finding in the menu. I'm not going to show you that. We're going to do it with shortcuts with your keyboards. Okay, so I'm going to select whatever the selection I want to copy and then paste somewhere else. I can copy an entire column, an entire row, and then whatever the table, whatever I want. I'm going to select these few, for example. I'm going to do Control C to copy. Okay, and that is, if you've got a QWERTY, that should be similar to these layouts in your keyboard. So Control and then the letter C. Okay, now how do I paste that? Right now, this information is in the memory of my computer. My computer is clever enough to remember all of these words, all of these parameters, the same order, etc. Of course. Then to paste it, I want to paste it down here, for example. Paste is Control V. Okay, there you go. I got two versions of the same thing. In your keyboard should be Control here and then the letter V. Okay. Now I got one, the original, and two is the copy, basically. Next one I want to show you is how to undo stuff. I want to reverse my decision of copying this here. How do I change my mind? So that is Control Set. Okay, so Control Set. Yeah, as you can see, it disappears. It disappears. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't want to undo that. I need to redo. How do I do that? Control Y. Control Y. You see? Simple as that. I can do that. Control C, sorry, Control Z, Control Y, Control Z, Control Y. I can do that forever if I wanted to. Okay, I'm going to undo that. I'm going to start again. Now with another selection, whatever that is. For example, here. In this case, I don't want to copy. I want to cut and paste. Cut is Control X. Yes, Control X. And then I want to paste it here. I'm going to paste it here just to make it less symmetric, if you like. Control. Do you know how to paste? Do you remember? Control V. That's the one. Now I cut and pasted. So by cutting, what I'm doing is I'm making disappear the original, and I'm only saving the copy. So I'm moving stuff from here to here, right? Should I undo again? Control, yes, you know, Control Z, that's the one. That's great. Another one really useful is select all. So I am in the middle of my table in here somewhere, and I want to select my whole table. In this case, as you can see, my sample data is quite small, I can really manage. But sometimes you're going to have a really large spreadsheet, yeah? So how do I select all the columns, all the rows where I got data in? So that would be, again, a shortcut, Control A, that is Control A. That is select all, Control A, yeah? As you can see, I put my mouse within the data. So that's Control A, and that select all the columns, all the rows, all the cells where some information is in my table. What happens if I select outside the data and then I hit Control A? As you can see, it selected my table, and outside it, as you can see, I'm selecting the whole sheet, the whole table. even outside where I put something in. That's also valid. You may need this. And let me tell you something. You know this symbol here, this kind of triangle is in the vertex, in the corner between the columns and the rows. This is kind of narrow, it's kind of a triangle. It's not ornamentic. It's not just for fun. They didn't put it just to make it look great or anything like that. It's actually a button. If I click on there, it does exactly that. It's selecting all my table outside the data as well. Yeah, it's something very, very useful as well. You may need. Okay. Another functionality I may need to use a lot is finding a word, literal. Okay. For that, maybe in this table, my table may be really, really large. Again, for some reason, I want to find in this column city any information related to, let's say, London. Okay, so I click in here, or I don't even need to click in the same column. Actually, I can click anywhere. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control F, like this, and this little window is going to appear where I can type something. It says find what. So I'm going to find London in this case. If I click find next, it's going to show me directly. As you see, it even moved my window to let me see where London is written on my table. If I hit it again, find next, nothing happens in this table because London is only written once in this table. If that wasn't the case and I've got the same word more than once, it will go one to another. For example, if I put UK, find next, it's going to be there and there and there and there. Can you see the green cell moving? Yeah, there is everywhere, really. Okay. If I, however, want to click on find all, it's going to give me the positions where those values are found. D in the cell, D2, D3, D4, etc. Yeah, really, really useful. And another one is replace. I've got another tab here, replace. So once I find UK, I can decide to replace that for another word. Could be another country, whatever I want. Okay, so that's find, Control F. Okay. Remember, these shortcuts I just gave you are really useful for Excel, but not only that, actually, is basically for the whole experience. The minute you start your computer, the minute you log in, you're going to use Control-C, Control-V, copy, paste, select all. All of those are valid in your internet browser, in your Word document. It doesn't really need to be Microsoft or Windows. It could be any distribution of Linux is going to be valid as well. Even in Mac, if you work in Mac, instead of Control, you're going to use Command. But the shortcuts are exactly the same. So you're going to use these shortcuts everywhere. The minute you turn on your computer, those are going to be available for you. Okay? Then next one. Again, my table could be really, really big and my data could be massive. So how do I go to one end to another? So I click anywhere, and then I go Control End. That would put me in the very end, in the very last column where I've got some information, and in the very last row whether I have information or I've been before. You remember before when we were doing copy and paste examples? Actually, I did use these rows until here. So that's why cleverly Excel is leading me to the last bit where I used. Last column used, last row used. Exactly the same goes for Control Home. Okay, those two are here. Control. In this little group of keys in my keyboard, I've got Home and End. Those two. That's the ones we are using right now. Control N goes to where I am now. Control Home goes to the opposite, the very beginning of my table. Now I want to select the from where I am until the end. When I say until the end, it could be in columns or in rows. Let's do it by columns first. So I am here and I want to select the whole row, all the columns in this row. So I go Control, Shift, Right, okay? And it's selected from left to the right, the whole thing. I can do it the opposite. If I click here and I start in the right, I can go Control, Shift, Left. There you go. And once there, actually, I could go upwards or downwards. Control, Shift, down. You see what happened? It's selected from where I was, keeping the same width of selection and just going downwards. And I can do exactly the same. For example, from here, Control Shift right, and then I'm going to go upwards, Control Shift up. You see? I'm only using Control Shift and these arrows. The arrows. That's all I need. Yeah? Incredible. Incredibly easy and really useful. Okay? So that's another one for you. In another video, you can find the link in the description, we were talking about filtering. And as I told you in that video, we can always use the keyboards, the shortcut, and find Control Shift L. And my filters are activated now to be used. I can start filtering from now. Control Shift L, which is here. Control Shift L in your keyboard. Yeah. Last one. This is one of my favorites, and let me tell you that some of the experts, some of the gurus are not always talking about this one, but they constantly use it. And this is, I need a column with numbers actually. This column, for example, with amounts of money, maybe I want to find the total, how much money all of these represents. Well, the way to do that is probably I need to use a formula. The formula is called sum, but I don't need to use it. Don't worry, you don't need to type a formula here. The only thing you need to use is your fingers, and then hit Alt equals. Wow, what happened? Automatically, Excel wrote a formula for me. I have no idea what that is. I have no idea what that means. I don't need to, really. The only thing I need to do is Alt equals, and then automatically create that, and I hit enter. And what I've got here is the totals. Incredibly useful. Again, Alt equal here, this symbol. Yeah, that's all you need. It's amazing. Okay, I hope it helped. I hope you like it, and probably I will see you soon. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Bye.